Hi everyone, thank you for joining me on this video. I'm going to be answering a question from Janine LaFontaine left 5 months ago on episode 8, which is titled Real Estate Investing, 3 Key Factors to Buy Cheap Houses. Check that video out if you're interested. Her comment is, I hesitate to ask a question because I know how much time it takes to respond to questions, and others may feel the same. I'm wondering if you consider the real estate taxes before a purchase decision. I am looking at houses that are worth $30,000, but the taxes are based off 3 times that amount. I know how to fight real estate taxes, but it is no fun and there are no guaranteed results in my favor. Janine the fighter. She's fighting that local government, getting them taxes down. But no, it's no fun. No fight's fun unless you win, and then even those not all that fun. But Janine is basically saying that she is finding some cheap houses for $30,000, and the tax assessments are about $90,000, and that's bothering her because she thinks she's being ripped off because she's basically paying taxes on 90 grand when that house is only worth 30. But here's the issue. They can't, get down to every single little house. They don't go and take a tour of everybody's house and make that judgment. It's based off of certain standards. So when they look at a whole neighborhood and it's based off lot size and bedrooms and, whether you got an air conditioner in there and all that kind of stuff. You can have a house assessed. And if it is real rough, I've seen some houses, man, I've seen them say a house is tax assessed for $50,000, and it's going to be some sort of a situation in most areas. It ain't going to be something real nice, but say it's tax assessed for $50,000, but it's a wreck. I mean, it's animals in there and it's rain coming right through the roof. You can sometimes get places. I've seen them drop to 10 where somebody has them assessed, but then usually what somebody's doing is they have it dropped and then they fix it up, and then it can go right back up there. With that said, Janine, this could be an option for you. Sometimes cities have programs where you can fix up a house, and if you raise the value of that house by X% for the next however many years, they will not raise the taxes on you. So what somebody's doing in that case is they'll buy a $90,000 tax assessed house that they think's worth way less. They have that thing tax assessed super duper low. Then they go get on that tax abatement program or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they call it. And in fixing that house up, the city wants you to do that. They're playing a long game. They're going, all right, we're going to get these people to fix up all these junky houses. And then down the road, that's going to bring us more property taxes in, which the local government then uses however they see fit. And then, so basically, like I said, it's a long game for them. Them letting you do that is just an incentive. And it's a big incentive because a lot of people are going to be done with a house before that time runs out. And it's transferable, meaning that you could buy this house for $30,000 and then say it's tax assessed at 90, but you sell it for 120. You can sell that house and say, this $120,000 house that's only tax assessed at $30,000. Then that person's going to go like this. And they're going to say, well, what's wrong with it? And then you can tell them, I got on this program. Then we did all that work. And so while you don't think of this as some sort of your house ain't worth much, you don't want your house to look like it's worth much to the city because that's just going to cost you more. And a lot of people, I don't think, consider their property taxes because of the way people buy houses. A lot of people buy a house, they show up, house is $2 billion. But all they care about is their payment each month. So they'll, get a mortgage on a house, and as long as that payment is acceptable to them, they don't care how it breaks down. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. And again, this is going to make a difference of kind of which way you're going. If I'm going to live in a house, it's going to be my home. Then I care about the property taxes. If I'm going to be buying some $5,000 house, pretty good chance it ain't gonna be tax assessed very high. It's gonna be, it's gonna be very lower level. And let's just say that I buy one house and it's tax assessed at $30,000. Then the next house I buy is tax assessed at $60,000. Most likely, at the end of that year, you're kind of splitting hairs as far as whether that $200 or $300 extra dollars makes a difference in your overall numbers as far as if it's a rental. Because I have houses that range from $99 a year in property taxes to $500 and I think $50 to $600. I can't remember what it was. Let's say $600 just to be safe. So from $100 to $600. And that range is a big difference in their tax assessments. Some are in the county, some are in the city, so you're going to get different values there. But the at the end of the year, that $500-ish at most difference, it just doesn't really matter, because you could have one rental house go really good and go perfect. And that could be the higher, or the one that's tax assessed higher. You just have no issues. And if it rents perfect, stays rented for 5 years, then your one that's tax assessed at $100, let's just say some people are moving in and out of there and you get a couple down months. Well, there's your, you've lost more there than you did in the property taxes, thinking about it the other way. So I don't get hung up on that kind of small stuff when it comes to kind of like my inexpensive rentals. But if I'm going to own a house like my own, my house is tax assessed real low. I'm in an area that's not that high. I thought about that, because in a lot of cases, you've got people that own their houses outright, paid for years ago, but they're tax assessed real high. They are paying more in taxes than people that I rent houses out to are paying in an entire year. Meaning, you can go on GIS maps for your area. Google that. Say you live in, Atlanta, Georgia. Type in GIS maps, Atlanta, Georgia, and then you can look up. Once you get to the right website, some of y'all are going to get kind of lost trying to find this, and that's easy to do. Some cities have better records than others, but you can get on there and you can find tax assessments for any address, whether that be somebody's house or whether it's a Walmart, and you can see how much they pay in taxes. And it is mind-blowing. Like, I'll see individuals' houses that are paying more quarterly in property taxes than I rent some houses for in an entire year. And that is wild to me. Because, imagine you've got a married couple that owns a mansion. You can imagine their impact on resources, meaning the sidewalks, the roads, the police department, whatever's paid for by their property taxes. Now imagine a smaller house that, say it's some rough rental house and it's got people just piled into it, more than should be on the lease. And then all those people are using more resources because there's more individuals. That's one thing that I think is wrong with property taxes, because it's just based off of basically how nice your junk is. And that's one thing that I personally think is weird. Keep in mind, I own a bunch of junk in the scheme of things. I don't consider it junk, but I'm just saying in the scheme of things, it's on that lower level. So I don't really have to pay that much in property taxes. So it's not even really something that affects me that much, but I'm not just simply interested in what affects me. I look at it and go, well, if I keep on my path, I'm going to be somebody that's a bigger deal than I am now, and how may that affect me then? And even then, just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean that you shouldn't care about it at all. Getting off topic, I don't want to disappoint Janine, so let me get back on topic. All I'm saying is, if you're going to live in a house, I would consider the property tax, because it almost becomes rent at that point. If it's going to be really low, you shrug your shoulders and you just acknowledge what you're getting out of it. Property taxes do go towards good stuff, but there comes a point where I go, why is this person having to pay that much more just because they have a much nicer house? I don't see the point in that. I know you're going to have just as many people that would go the other way. Let's say you are selling the house. Again, you personally are not going to have to carry those costs very long. And, if it's something super duper nice with really high property taxes, the type of person that's buying it is probably not going to be too concerned with that. It just goes along with the situation. So I think that probably pretty much answers the question. I was a little more long-winded than that could have been, but at only 9 minutes and 45 seconds so far, I'm doing pretty good for me. I think I'll go ahead and call it then. I'll review this video, see if it's fit for posting on YouTube, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Be sure to ask your questions below, and I'll do my best to give you my answer/opinion, and hopefully y'all keep on watching. Subscribe to my channel. Give the video a thumbs up, a like, whatever you're supposed to do on YouTube, and check out the links in the description below. If you are interested in buying cheap houses with low property taxes, you can check out the first link in the description. That will be a link to my book, Cheap Houses, How I Find and Buy Inexpensive Real Estate. I think that's the name of it. It's for sale on Amazon. So Amazon Kindle, but you can read it on anything you got. You just need the app. That app can be put on Chromebooks and PCs and phones and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't want to fool with that, you can buy it directly off of my website, thehomesteadcraftsman.com. It is a PDF version of that book, and from there you can print it. I do not have physical copies available. You can make your own physical copy by printing those PDF books. Then I'm also working on a audiobook version of it, where I just read the book out in the clearest voice I'm capable of. And so when I'm done with that, it'll be at the same link, just as an audiobook version. Also working on another book now about wholesaling. So wholesaling is the process of basically, in short terms, you're selling a house you don't even own just by getting under contract and then basically selling your rights in that contract. So I'm writing a book on that, and I think that one's going to be very, very helpful to people who are real gritty people, who can really get something done, but you ain't got no money. So it's a good way to get money to then go buy your rat hole, and then once you own your rat hole, you get that thing fixed up, and then from there you move on towards buying better houses down the road. So it's a great way to get started, and I'm hoping that book is just as helpful as the book I've already written. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.